Yeah, some people.
It ruins your weekend if if you haven't at least told me to do something.
Oh, it's not that bad. But some people need to be muted as well.
Okay. Well, I'll leave them open for the moment. When we get into the hypno part of it, I'll mute everyone. Thanks, Tommy.
Okay.
Right.
That's
So
fine.
yeah, and the idea, you know, for me, that would just be great because I seem to know you, and yet we've never actually met in person yet. To get to some place on the planet where we could all get together, you know, have dinner together, have some time in a bar together, learn some stuff, hypnotize each other, and just I think it'd be great. And I know Anthony's kind of got it in his mind because I put it into his mind to make it happen. So hopefully, you know, maybe when we get out of all this COVID lockdown and we can all travel again, we can make that happen, make that real. So the idea tonight, I'm going to take you on a journey, and it's not just going to be a chill out time. It will be, and I want you to lose yourself. You know, forget about everything else for a while. Look on it as a holiday. I think it's one of our guys on our course, Rob Chapman, I think his name is. He does. I think he does a mind massage, which sounds really cool to me. But this, you know, look on this not as a mind massage, but just time out. Put all your cares and worries out of the way just for a while while we do this. While we're together tonight, and I'm going to take you on a journey, and it's not just going to be a journey because at some point we're going to let go of any limitations you have. We're going to once and for all just metaphorically get rid of them, and then I want you to think about where you want to be in this quest to create the body, the health, and the happiness you want. And think about where you are now, because at some point today, if any of you are struggling with what do I do next? What's the next thing I need to do? At some point when we're on this journey, you are going to find the answers to all of those questions, and you'll know exactly what you need to do to create that life you want. And it's out there for all of us. We've just got to want it badly enough and ask that question. I say for me, it's the most wonderful question anyone's asked. And it was not mine, it's Sandra Grace's, who did a presentation for us for creating a health and body and happiness group. And if you weren't with the group at the time, you can find all of those presentations. There's one from Laurie Hammond. There's one from Sandra Grace. I believe that Mike Mandel did a presentation on fasting, and so many other people have given their time to this group. And you can find all of those on my YouTube channel. All of it's free. So, you know, check in and have a look and see. But Sandra Grace, she asked this question, and I know some of you have heard me say it before. I'm going to ask it again. What has to happen for you to love yourself enough to create the life you want? What has to happen? And then the next question she asked, which is pretty much as good as, is this: if you are not living that life now, if not, why not? Just ask yourself those questions. What has to happen for you to love yourself enough to create the life you want? I'll say it to all my clients: if we were just to want for ourselves what we want for our kids, and ask the questions, what do I want my kid doing this? What do I want my kid feeling like this? What do I want my kid being spoken to like this? And if that answer comes back, no, I wouldn't, then maybe once you learn to love yourself enough, just treat yourself with that same kindness. And I believe we'd all live a lot longer. We'd all live a better life and be happier. Just treat yourself with the love you deserve. So at some point, we're going to feel into that, feel how good it is. We're going to reestablish how you want to feel and let go of any limitations, because that's all they are. When it comes to our body, there's very few things we cannot change. But the only question is, how badly do I want to look or feel that good? What am I willing to do to make that happen? And once you realize that you find that important, that the importance in that, and then feel into it and experience how that's going to feel, and ask those questions: how much fun is it to create that body I want? How much fun is it to feel this good? And how important is it for me? These simple questions can change your life. And I want you to, as you're going about your day over the next week or so, ask those questions when you come up against a block. And some of you have been on my training course, and I know many of you have been with me for some months now in this group. The blink and delete technique, which I came up with in this group, it occurred to me while we were working together in this group, the blink and delete. And if you don't already know what it is, I'm going to tell you it once again. And someone said to me, well, why don't you write a book on it and publish it? And I said, because it's at the most an A4 piece of paper. It's an understanding rather than a book. And it's this understanding that most of the big decisions we've made in our life have been made in an emotional state. And when we're emotional, we're not functioning optimally. Ask Alan, he teaches boxing and kickboxing. And I used to say to my guys when I used to train to box, I say the worst thing that can happen in that boxing ring is you're going to get angry. And your opponent is going to want to try and make you angry. He's going to call your girlfriend's names, he's going to call your kids' names, your mother names, because he wants you to be angry, because he knows when you're angry, you are not functioning optimally. And so most of the big decisions we made in our life have been made in an emotional state. And here's the other sad part of this equation. 60 to 70% of what you believe about yourself, what you're capable of, who you are, even religious beliefs, were created by a child under 7. Think about that. Most of the beliefs you're walking around with, most of the limiting beliefs you have about yourself, or what you can do, what you can't do, what you're capable of or not capable of, who you are as a person, most of those decisions were made by a child under 7. And you would not have a 5-year-old boy or a 6-year-old girl making a lifelong decision about what you're capable of. And yet, most of the decisions we're walking around with were made by a child. So this is blink and delete technique. When you come up against what Laurie Hamm would call that imposter monster voice in your head, which says, you're never going to do this, or you're not any good at that, or you're not going to achieve this. When you hear that voice in your head and you come up against one of those blocks, this is how simple it is. You ask this simple question: when did I make that decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? And was it even my decision? And when you ask that question, I promise you, you don't have to do 3 years of regression therapy to find out that. Go back to that, what we call the initial sensitizing event. When you ask that question, you will immediately go there because it's stored somewhere in your unconscious mind, and you'll immediately go there. Instead of questioning it, just accept that that's when you made that decision. And then you ask this question: is that decision any longer viable now that I've evolved? Because you are not the same person you were a week ago. You have evolved. You've had experiences even this last 7 days. You are not the same man. You are not the same woman you were a week ago. And you are definitely not the same person you were 20 years ago, because you are evolving all the time. And yet, although we're evolving, we are functioning on old software. Decisions we made in a less informed state. There's a big thing at the moment about forgiveness, forgiving people and forgiving ourselves. And as nice as that idea sounds, when it comes to forgiving ourselves, I think we've got to look at it in a different way. If you could see, if you know about my life, and some of you may do, I have made some massive mistakes. I have made some mass blunders. I've, made wrong decisions. But instead of thinking, oh, I've got to forgive myself for that, if I look at it as a decision that I made in a less informed state, because I honestly believe that your unconscious, your instinctive, intuitive part of your being is only ever working for your well-being. It only ever wants you to thrive. but it is making those decisions with the information it has. Just going to let a couple more people in. With the information it has at that point in your life. So it's my reason and for not running regression, because regression to cause, they say, well, it's probably a decision you made when you were a kid, which is fine. But if you regress back to a 5-year-old child, you are going to make a 5-year-old's decision. But to go back as you are now, right here in this moment, with all the understanding and learning and strength you've got now, through the experience and the matrix of your life, and go back and reassess a past decision, to reevaluate a past decision, and then ask this question: is that decision any longer viable now that I've evolved? Or is it an obsolete decision made in a less informed state? And the chances are it will be. And when you realize it is, this is what you do. You blink twice and you delete that old decision. And then you go to neutral. And we did this the other week when we did TPM with all of you. To be able to go to neutral emotion. I'll keep coming back to Alan because he's a boxer and he trains people how to fight. To be in a boxing ring or being in a cage or wherever it is you're performing, and to be neutral emotion is immense. To not be angry, to not be excited, to be neutral. Yeah, it's like a machine, if you like, in that situation. Alan will have trained his body over the years to act accordingly. So someone throws a punch, he'll block it. He won't think, the punch is coming, I'm going to block it. He will just instantly do that, and then he'll counter. He doesn't have to think about it because he's been doing that and training that in the gym. So he doesn't consciously have to be in that ring. He can step out of that ring as soon as the bell goes and let his unconscious part of his being do that performance. It's the same for all of you. If you're typists, if you're hairdressers, if you've been doing therapy for a long time, any of those things where you perform at a high rate, you now have a part of you, if you like, that's running that ability, and you can stand out of it emotionally. And so to be able to go to neutral emotion, because in neutral emotion you can make the right decision. You can then take the right action and get the outcome you want. So the blink and delete is this: you come up against a block, you ask the question, when did I make that decision that I can't do this? Or when did I make that decision? You'll immediately go there. You look at it from where you are now, in the evolved state you are now, and you ask that question, obviously, to begin with. How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? And was it even my decision? And I promise the last part of that question is important, because so many of us are walking around limited by someone else's opinion. You're good at math, but you'll never be any good at sport. Or you're a street kid, but you're never going to be academic. My oldest boy, Dean, who's Anthony's older brother, I know he wasn't my first child, because I lost my first child at 6 weeks old, but he was my first child in as much as he was my first boy at 2 years, 3 years. I had him from a baby onward. And like most fathers, I was only young. I was 19 when he was born, but I thought he was a genius. He sat at 6 or 7 years old and worked out how to do a Rubik's Cube. I still don't know how to do one. And he sat for 2 hours and figured out how to do it. He could read out of a newspaper at 3.5 years old. And I thought he was a genius. And he went to the normal school and went to the local primary school. And then in those days, and I think they still do, they had the 11 plus, which was whether if you passed the 11 plus, you go on to a grammar school or you went on to a kind of normal secondary school. So we had the normal meeting with the headmaster, and he said, look, I don't want you to expect too much. This is what he said. He said, Dean is streetwise, but he's not academic. And I just thought, you know what? I don't know whose kid he's talking about, because I know my kid's a genius, as we all do. Definitely a genius. So anyway, he did his 11 plus, and he came home, and his mum was sitting there with the envelope, unable to open it in case it was green or red or whatever it was. Anyway, he passed his 11 plus. And I was at a business locally at the time, and one of the teachers came in, and she said, I'm not supposed to tell you, she said, but your child passed that 11 plus, because he came home, Dean, you know, everything was easy for him. He's ambidextrous, and I don't know if you've got any ambidextrous boxers, Alan, but it's a major thing to be able to do. He plays football, and he can kick with both feet. I play him at tennis, and he'll forearm smash me down one side of the court. On the way over to the other side, put it in the other hand, and forearm smash me with the other hand. You know, he had that ability. So, and he came home, and his mum said, you know, well, how did you do? Yeah, he said it was easy. I had 10 minutes to spare. And it was in the days when you could clip a kid round the ear. So you got a clip round the ear for not doing it well enough, right? It turns out, passed his 11 plus. But his teacher came in and said to me, I'm not supposed to tell you, but he passed that test with the highest mark the school has ever had. And the teachers were saying he's not academic, and he's never going to be that, you know. So if we'd listened to him and believed him, then who knows what would happen? But he didn't have that limitation. So that last question, was it even my decision? You'll find it was normally someone else's opinion. So that question is really powerful when you ask that question. You'll immediately go there, look at it again, ask the next question. Is that any longer viable now that I've evolved? And if the answer is no, blink twice, delete it. Go to neutral emotion. And most of you know how to do this now. And if you don't, then it's in my book. And we did a thing on it the other week. That's recorded. It's on my YouTube channel. Have a look at it. TPM, Total Perception Management, and run yourself through it. So you have the ability to go to neutral. Go to neutral, make a new decision in this now evolved state you're in now. Then you can make the right decision, take the right action, get the right outcome for yourself. So today, we're going to find the answers to any of the questions you've been asking about. What do I do next to create this next chapter of my life the way I want to create it? Because you're all capable of it. Once you let go of those limiting beliefs that probably were never yours in the first place, and you'll see it, and you're going to find that today. This is going to be a trip, and all you have to do is come on this journey with me. And I'm going to ask you to imagine some things. And some of you, I know, because we've been working with a lot of people, they say I'm not very good at visualizing. And I have to tell you, I'm not very good at visualizing either. But we're going to find a way through this, because what you're going to do is get a sense of this whole experience and feel into it. And if you picture it, it's fine. If you feel it, that's fine. If you get sounds, it's fine. But wherever you're going to experience it, ultimately, you're going to come on this trip. And it is going to be a trip. Because Tess said, what about a holiday? It's all right for her. She's living in sunny Cyprus. And I took it when she said, how about a hypno holiday? I took it as an invite, and I'm booking my tickets, and I'll be with you soon, Tess. Don't worry. I've got my Speedos ready. Little golden Speedos. You haven't seen them yet. They are fantastic, I tell you. Extra large, by the way. And then we're going to have a beautiful holiday in Cyprus together. So what I want you to do today is, like I always say, look on this as time out and understand that while we're together, you are all that matters to me. I want this for you. Forget about everything else. All your worries, put them out of the way for a while. Look on this as total respite from everything else in your life. You can listen to me if you want, and I don't mean this rudely. I'm not interested in your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind will hear everything I've got to say, and it will take from it what's needed for you to free yourself from any limitations and to find those answers that will lead you to this next stage of your creation of your body, health, and happiness. All right. So are there any questions before we get into this? Otherwise, I'm going to mute you, or otherwise Dorian will tell me off. Or any questions, switch your mic on, ask me if there's any questions or anything special you want me to get into your brain while you're under the fluence. Oh, sorry, I need that from you then, Jackie. The inner fluence. Right, okay, so I'm going to show you.
Ready?
Hey, Freddie.
Doreen?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to work on my tan. Is that possible?
Your
While we're
tan?
on holiday, yeah.
Your tan, yeah. You fully expect. Look at Doreen now, because when you
Yeah.
look at her after this, she's going to look
Okay.
completely different.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Right, okay.
Hey, Freddie. Can
Yeah.
you just let me know that my body is a natural healing machine? Can we add that in somehow?
We're going to do that. We're going to tap into all of your own healing powers. So that arm's going to heal at a special rate. There's a guy that we trained down in Brazil. Now I'm trying to think. It's he trained him in Brazil, but I'm trying to think of where he lives. It's a special place. But he's a surgeon. He's a bone surgeon. I think he specializes in motorcycle accidents when people break their femur. So he's an osteosurgeon. Dr. Flavio, his name is. He's got a Polish surname, strangely enough, from way back. But he works with the arrow technique before surgery and after surgery. And since he's been using it, the healing time on bone surgery has come down from 45 days to 35 days. And he's had 0 infections, which is unheard of. And he's using these techniques and he teaches it now. Keep an eye out for him. Flavio, I'm not even going to attempt his second name because it's Polish, but have a look. So yes, today, let's get into it. Focus on where you want to be, Alan, and see that arm healing and we'll get all of your natural abilities working on it. Okay, it'll be the same for all of you, because all of this, if you've got anything underlying, any kind of problems you want to be resolved, that will happen while Doreen is just getting a tan, which of all the things someone could ever ask me for with all these beautiful skills we got, a tan is probably right there up at the top of the list with healing, pain control. Get ready. All right, look, get into it. Get yourself comfortable. That's right, Georgia. Get yourself comfortable. You're going to fall off there, I expect. You look a bit wobbly there. Right, anyway, get yourself comfortable. And when you're ready to do this, you know how to do this now. I don't know if you can see Eileen Welsh's picture. You can just see the tips of her toes there. Can you see that? I tell you, some people say absolute liberties. So look, get yourself comfortable, place your hands separately, place your feet separately. And then when you're ready, just take that deep breath in. And as you breathe out, allow your eyes to close only as quickly as you're ready to go on this trip. That's right. Think of those other experiences of hypnosis you've had with me, how it's felt to sit, listen to my voice speaking to you, remembering the words and the sounds, how it felt as you drifted into that wonderful space. Just for a while. Nobody wants anything. No one expects anything. And there is nothing for you to do but to allow yourself that feeling of freedom. I'm going to say some words. As I say these words, I want you to repeat them to yourself, aim them at yourself. And even at first you don't absolutely feel it, just repeat these words to yourself. In a moment you will. I'm completely calm and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. So as you become less and less aware of your physical being, like you've had a general anesthesia, unaware sometimes of where the right arm is, or the left leg is, or the left arm, or the right arm, or the entire body at times, that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful free floating place of effortless relaxation and letting go. And as your body disappears just for a while, the essence of who you are, that intangible part of your being, the passenger, the observer in that physical form, begins to separate from that body. And it will be the most incredible feeling of liberation and freedom as you drift away from your body and leave your body in that chair. And I want you to notice as the essence of who you are drifts away from that body in that chair. You may be able to look back at that body and notice that the essence of who you are is ageless. It is infinite. It has no edge. Feel that feeling of liberation and freedom and understanding you are not your body. You are not your name. It was given to you. You are not even your thoughts, because you do not know what you were thinking this time yesterday. And you do not know what you will be thinking 3 thoughts from now. And as you understand that you are not your body, not your name, not your thoughts, a new understanding takes place. That whatever you imagined you were, you are miles, miles more than that. You are incredible. You are unique. In the history of mankind, there has never been another you. On a planet of 7.5 billion people, there is no one else like you, and there never will be. And understanding that your body, your mind, is the most incredible creation in the known universe. Just think how incredible that body is in that chair. Just for a moment, you can look back at that body and appreciate how incredible that body is. Think about those feet. How many places have you been? How many miles have you traveled because of your feet? How many people have you met because of your feet? Think about your hands. How incredible are your hands? the skills you have, the things you can do with your hands, the love you felt for your hands, maybe the child you held in those hands. And for some of you, that body in that chair created another human being. And just if you have a child, think about that child. Think how incredible that is. How incredible is your body? How incredible are you? You are the most incredible creation in the known universe. Your brain has no edge. It has no limits. It is beyond anything any man has ever created. It is infinite. It is limitless. You are incredible. And as you drift further and further away from your physical being, maybe every now and again, completely free of any physical sensation. How incredible is that? And as you drift deeper and deeper into that wonderful state of hypnosis, my words and my voice are going to drift with you to become a part of your experience now. Every word I say doubles that incredible feeling. Everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. At that ultimate space of healing, physical, psychological, you may become aware of those healing sensations running through your body. As you drift further and further away, you have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. And that unconscious mind, the back of the mind, can continue to hear, to understand and respond to those things that I might say without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. That's right. Letting go even of the effort it takes to make the effort that it might take. To tell the exact position of arms, legs, or the entire body now that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful free floating place of effortless relaxation and letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own ways. You drift as a mind. And the mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. Just for a moment, go out into the future, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. And you've created the body you want. You've created the life you want. Let go of any limitations, any negative thoughts, any inhibitions. Let them go and see yourself, or get a sense of yourself out there, having achieved your physical, your psychological, your emotional, your spiritual goals. And notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Go and step into that body and feel what it feels like to have achieved it. Get a sense of yourself in that body, an understanding of just how incredible you are. Feel into it now and ask this question: how much fun is that to have created the happiness you want, or the joy, or the love, or the body that you want? Feel into it. How much fun is that? How important is it for you? Feel into it now, because now you know how good it feels. Everything about you is inclined towards making that happen because you want it. You want that feeling back. You want that feeling of health and strength and well-being and love and kindness. Now everything about you is inclined toward doing it. The unconscious mind can make those changes while the conscious mind drifts off someplace else entirely now. It's right, in your own time, in your own way. Aware of events that occur along the way as the unconscious mind utilizes that opportunity just for a while. You'll see what I say you can see. You'll feel what I say you can feel. You'll hear what I say you can hear. And you'll believe what I say you believe just for a while. And so as you drift deeper, deeper, deeper down, you can use your unconscious, infinite mind to make whatever changes, physical, emotional, spiritual. And I want you to think about any part of your body that you want to heal. Think about it now. Any part of your body that was experiencing discomfort or pain. And I want you to let go of that now. And I want your unconscious mind to make those changes now at a molecular level that will spin up that healing process. I'd like to speak directly to the part of you that runs your immune system, that automatic healing ability. I'm going to ask those cells to reconnect the communication that will allow that healing to spin up, speed up. And even though you drift as a mind, you may become aware of certain sensations in that body, in that chair, like a low vibration of healing. You may become aware of those sensations as that healing spins up now. And as that happens, just for a moment, you and I are standing at the top of a flight of steps. Get a sense of standing at the top of a flight of steps, 5 steps that lead down into one of those old walled gardens. One of those gardens you see in those ancient homes. Get a sense of yourself standing there at the top of those steps. And I'm going to count down from 5. And with each number down, we are going to take those steps down into that garden. Get a sense of that garden, the lawn, the flowers, the colours, the perfumes of those flowers, the sounds of the birds. Get a sense of that garden as we walk down those steps. 5, going deeper, deeper, deeper down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're in that garden. Get a sense of that grass under your feet. Maybe the perfume of those flowers, the aroma of some of those plants. As we walk across that lawn, feel the sensation under your feet. Feel the sun on your face. Hear the sounds in that garden. And notice there on the pathway is an old oak bench. Get a sense of that bench. An old oak bench carved out of a single piece of oak, maybe hundreds of years old. And as we make our way over to that bench, feel that feeling of freedom. There's no one for miles around. And that feeling, a sense of freedom. And now we're on that bench, just sitting in that garden, looking out across that beautiful garden. And feel that feeling of freedom. As you look up into that blue sky, you take a breath in and you go into a sleep. Into the most beautiful sleep. Your body completely relaxed, your mind completely relaxed. And in that sleep, you go into a dream. In that dream, we are walking through one of those fields of gold that Sting sings about, wheat and barley. Get a sense of walking through that field. Feel the plants against your fingertips. Smell the perfume and the aroma of those plants. Maybe even see the sun shining on top of those plants, like a cool breeze, like a wave on the ocean, blowing across the top of that field. And as we walk through that field of gold, we stop for a moment just to experience that feeling of freedom, How good is it to be alive, to experience that feeling now? And as we continue through that field now, it opens onto a pathway, a wide, safe pathway that leads down into a valley covered in wild flowers. Get a sense of those flowers, get a sense of the colors and the perfumes. And as we walk down that pathway, each step is going to take you deeper and deeper into the most profound state of bliss. Feel it now. Hear the sounds of the birds. Feel the sun on your face. Feel that sensation as we walk down that pathway. You can see it now. There's an old oak tree beside that pathway. Get a sense of it, hundreds of years old. Its branches overhanging that pathway. And as we walk beneath the branches, you can feel the coolness of the shade. See the light shining between those leaves like diamonds. And as we walk beneath those branches, you can think about the hundreds, maybe thousands of people that have sheltered there, friends that have met there, lovers that have met under those branches over the hundreds of years. And feel that feeling now. Get a sense of that feeling now. And as we continue down that pathway, back out into the sunlight, feel the warmth of the sun. And now you can see it. There's a river running through that valley. And now we're on that riverbank. And you're sitting on that riverbank and you can see the leaves and the twigs being swept down that river on the current. And notice, get a sense of a boat that's tied to that riverbank, an old rowing boat, one of those boats that you see in the parks in the summer, but it's been left there, forgotten about, abandoned, tied to that riverbank. There's dried leaves in the bottom of that boat. And as you see that boat, notice on your back is a rucksack. And you haven't noticed it before, but now you can feel it. And in that rucksack is every negative, limiting belief that anyone ever placed on you throughout your life. Every ounce of hurt, pain, sadness, any guilt that's been placed, any shame that's been placed on you is in that bag, placed in there so subtly over your life, you haven't even noticed it until now. But now you can feel the weight of it. But you can see me standing in front of you. You can hear my voice. And you can feel me unstrapping that bag. Feel me lifting it off your back. See my arms and my legs straining under the weight of that bag. But watch as I carry that bag over to that boat and I place it in that boat. See the boat go lower in the water under the weight of all of that hurt, pain, sadness that's ever held you back, that's been slowing you down and holding you back for all those years. See that boat go lying in the water and watch as I undo that rope and kick that boat out into the river. Watch, get a sense of that current catching that boat and sweeping it down that river. Watch as it gets smaller and smaller. Get a sense of it going round a bend in that river and out of sight. And feel that feeling of freedom, a lightness of being you may have never experienced before, as all that weight has been lifted from you. And in your mind's eye, as you lay back on that riverbank and look up into that blue sky, get a sense of that tiny boat way out there on a vast ocean, laden down with that bag, with all the hurt and pain and sadness, every limiting belief, every negative thought, every opinion that's held you back is in that bag. And watch in your mind's eye as a wave washes over it and takes it to the bottom of that ocean, thousands and thousands of feet below into the darkness. And in your mind's eye, picture that boat hitting the seabed and that bag spilling out and thousands of sea creatures burying that pain and sadness and hurt, limitations under the sand at the bottom of the sea, never to affect you again. And as you get a picture out in your mind, close your eyes, you go into the most deep, deep sleep on that riverbank. And as you go into that sleep, you go into a dream. In that dream, we are walking into the most incredible light, the most incredible, all-encompassing light. And as you walk into that light, I want you to think about the people you love, the people you've helped, people that love you, and feel that love now. Feel it like the burning hot sun in the summer sky as that light envelops you, and shrink it down to a white hot nuclear powered ball of light. Pull it into the very core of your being. Feel that light and that love expanding out through your body. Feel it going to every cell, every fiber, and notice that your body cannot contain that much love. And feel it now going beyond your body and rippling out to the edges of the known universe. And you're at the center of it. And I want you to notice as your body is flooded with that incredible feeling, that every ounce of doubt, hurt, pain, sadness has gone from your body and your mind, because it cannot coexist in your body with that much love and light and joy. Feel it now. And as you walk through that light, I want you to know, get a sense of a door, like the door to a bank vault, a massive steel door in front of you. You can see that dial on the front of that door, and there's a keypad above it. 3 numbers pop into your mind. And you punch them into that keypad and the light goes green. And we are spinning that dial on the front of that door. Feel the weight of it as we pull that steel door open and we step into that bank vault. And notice on the wall are safety deposit boxes, hundreds of them. But one of them has your name on it. Go over to that box, open the door and pull out that canister that's in that safety deposit box. Take that canister to the table that's in the center of that bank vault and open the lid. And as you open the lid, there is a photograph, a high definition photograph of yourself having achieved and created the body, health and happiness you want. You can see it. High definition photograph of you having created the body, the health and happiness that you want. I want you to step into that photograph and feel what it feels like to have created that life. That's right, feel into it and notice how good that feels. Now step back out of the photograph. Now underneath that photograph is a piece of A4 paper. It's folded in half. And as you open that paper, there in your own handwriting are the answers to the questions that you've been asking yourself about what you need to do to create the body, health and happiness that you want. It's written in your own handwriting, the answers to those questions you've been asking yourself throughout your life. And you are memorizing the answers to those questions. You are storing those answers in that part of your mind that's there for those answers. And now that you've done that, now you have those answers stored away in your mind, you can fold that piece of paper back up, put it back in the canister. Take one last look at that photograph of you having achieved your goals and put it on top of that piece of paper and close the lid on the canister. Take that canister, put it back in that safety deposit box, close that door and spin that little dial on the front. And now we are walking back out of that bank vault. And we are closing that thick steel door behind us. We're spinning that dial and locking that door now. And we're walking back into that light, that incredible feeling of love and joy and freedom. And know it's okay to love yourself, to be kind to yourself. As you walk into that light, feel it flooding your body. And as you walk into that light, you realize you're in a dream, an incredible dream that you're having on that riverbank. And as you realize that, you are waking up on that riverbank. You can feel the softness of the grass against your back. You can see the blue sky. And you can remember that boat now buried at the bottom of the ocean with every ounce of sadness and pain, both physical and emotional, gone from your body. You cannot feel it, you cannot experience it. As you realize that, you and I are walking back up that pathway, but notice that lightness of being in your step, free of that weight that's been holding you back and slowing you down, free to be. And as we walk back up that pathway, you can see that old oak tree once again. And as we walk beneath the branches, feel that coolness once again. Feel that feeling of freedom. And as we continue to walk up that pathway, back out into the sunlight, feel the warmth of the sun on your back. And as we continue up that pathway, you can see it now, that field of gold. Wheat and barley. See that breeze blowing across the top. Get a sense of it. And as we walk into that field, and we stop for a moment once again, just to reflect on all of the things you have in your life, some wonderful people, the love, the things you've learned. Just for a moment, we stop and reflect in a moment of silence. And as you feel that now, as we walk into that field, you realize you're in a dream, an incredible dream that you're having in that old walled garden. And as you become aware that you're in that dream, you are waking up on that bench. You can see that garden, sense those flowers, the perfume, that feeling of freedom. We're waking up on that bench. You can see that lawn and you can see the 5 steps that led down into that garden. And you can feel that wonderful feeling of healing taking place. Imagine it's happening. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. Every ounce of useless and unnecessary pain, both physical and emotional, have gone from your body and your mind. And once again, we're walking across that lawn toward those steps. We're at the bottom of those steps, those 5 steps that led down into that garden. But I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and we are going to run up those steps with a wonderful energy, freedom, joy. So get ready. As I count from 1 to 5, we're going to run up those steps. A feeling of freedom, a lightness of being you may have never experienced before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at the top of those steps, looking out across that garden. Get a sense of that bench where we sat and fell asleep and went into those beautiful dreams. And feel that feeling of freedom now. And as you become aware of that, you realize you're actually in the most profound, incredible state of hypnosis. Sitting in your room, listening to my voice, you're in the most wonderful state of hypnosis. And time changes too, so you'll know what an incredible trance it's been. When you become aware that what seemed to be a short time turned out to be a long time. What seemed a long time was really no time at all. Because in a while I'm going to count to 10. Every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, neurological levels. Now your reality. A new understanding about your worth and your value, just how incredible you are. You are incredible. You are fantastic. You are fabulous. You are unique. You are love. And you are loved. And you are loving. You're going to take that feeling into everything you do. A feeling of calm, inner confidence and peace. Feel it now. because as I count to 10, on 8, your eyes will open. You will feel like you've had a ton weight lifted. The harder you try and remember what it felt like to doubt yourself, the more confident, the more peaceful you become. Every limiting belief that was ever placed on you is gone from your mind and your body, replaced by a new understanding of just how incredible you are. On 8, your eyes will open, you are going to feel incredible. And on 10, that feeling of calm, inner peace, that inner confidence is going to grow stronger day by day as you continue to create the body, the health, the happiness you want. And it's easy to forget, you know, you put our keys down sometimes, forget where you put them. It's easy to forget. I don't know, it'll be 5 minutes from now or an hour from now or 30 years from now, when you suddenly realize you've been thinking about something else entirely. And every ounce of useless, unnecessary physical and emotional pain disappeared right here, right now, replaced by a feeling of love and a feeling of joy. You're going to take into everything you do. So get ready. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful. 2, to create the life you want and do it with a smile on your face, knowing that you are worthy of it. You are loved and you are loved and you are loving. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limitation that ever held you back. 4, feel the force of that new energy flooding your body and your mind. 5, feel incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely incredible. 9, 10.
Thank you, Freddie.
How was your holiday, Tess? Was it a good enough holiday? Was it okay for you? Can't hear you, but I
Yes,
think
it was. It was lovely.
good, great stuff. All right, so where's the pain gone now, Alan? Try and feel it, find you cannot.
There's still a little bit of discomfort, but we're a lot better than we were before.
Well, it's a new break, so you need to look after yourself.
Yeah.
I think Veronica's still out cold, so I can see her there. But she looks pretty peaceful. Oh, there she is. She's back. That's good. All right, so look, I hope you enjoyed the evening. Just know that you can do this. Continue to ask the question when you come up against those blocks. When did I make the decision? What has to happen for you to love yourself enough to treat yourself to the body and the health and happiness you want? And stay on it. We know every now and again, because we're human, we step off the path. But know that once you're off, if you step off that path, it doesn't have to be forever. You can step back on. And it's so easy when you know, to beat ourselves up because we're not getting to where we want to go quick enough, or we make mistakes, or we feel I let ourselves down. But know that we're human. As long as you'll continue to move to where you want to go, you'll eventually get there. So look, I hope you enjoyed this evening. It's great to see you all, and thanks for joining me. Next Friday, for this, on Friday afternoon UK time at 4 o'clock.
Friday therapy at 4.
Freddie's free Friday therapy at 4. Yeah, I run it for the College of Medicine, and she may be in this group. I don't know because I haven't met her yet. But we have a professor coming along to that group who's looking into doing some proper research into the arrow technique for pain. And that would be such a great thing for me and for all of us that are using the arrow. So I'd like as many people to turn up for that group. We normally have 100 people on it, but it'd be nice to have that jam.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Time at 4 o'clock next week, on next Friday. You'll find a link on this group and on the other groups. and just come along. It's normally good fun. So, you know, just join me if you can, all right? But either way, wherever you are in the world, have a beautiful weekend.
Bye. Thank you, Freddie.
Thanks,
Have a
Freddie.
good evening.
It's my pleasure, all right? And
Good weekend, everybody.
I'll see you all soon.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Freddie.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
It was beautiful.
Thanks, great. Okay, take care. See you
Great
all soon.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
See you, Nolene. Nice to see you.
See you.
Good to see you, Eileen. Nice to see more than your feet. That's good to see. All right, great to see you, Alan. All right, thanks, Doreen, again for being my PA. Nice to see you.
No worries.
And good to see you all, Nicola and Lisa, whoever's left here. Right, I'll say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. All right, take care.
Bye. Thank you.